ସମସ୍ତଙ୍କୁ ପିଲେ ଭେରି ଗୁଡ୍ ମର୍ଣ୍ଣିଂ डियर स्टूडेंट्स तुम मानकर क्लास टिफिले मोस्ट इंपोर्टाट रहिबो कारण एथिरे आमे कवर अप करिया पे जाउचे हिस्ट्री रो वर्ल्ड वार एवं वर्ल्ड वार 1 एवं वर्ल्ड वार 2 रो एमसीक्यू क्वेश्चन को तो तुमे माने समस्त जानिथिबो जदि तुमे माने वी बिल्ड रो प्रिपरेशन करूचो हिस्ट्री पार्ट रे वर्ल्ड वार 1 एवं वर्ल्ड वार 2 रहिछि ए अबाउट रे आमे ऑलरेडी एमसीक्यू क्वेश्चन को कवर अप करिचे वर्ल्ड वार 1 मध्ये मो तुम मानको थ्योरी क्लासेस रे डिटेल्स बुझेछि तो ये जो एमसीक्यू क्वेश्चन रहिबो पूर्व एमसीक्यू ठरो भिन्न रहिबो पूर्व एमसीक्यू रे जहां भी कवर अप करथिले एथिरे ताठरो यूनिक क्वेश्चन अछि एवं मैक्सिमम क्वेश्चन अछि हमें कवर अप करिबा तो मु एक्सपेक्ट करूची तुम मानकर एग्जाम रे जति क्वेश्चन आसीबो मे बी आ भितर किछि क्वेश्चन आसी पारे वर्ल्ड वार एवं वर्ल्ड वार 2 को नेक तो डियर स्टूडेंट्स काइंडली वीडियो टी को कंप्लीट देखिबे निजर फ्रेंड्स माने को शेयर करिवे जो माने भी बीएड रो प्रिपरेशन करूचंती 2022 रे एवं परवर्ती समय रे डीएलटी सिटी एंट्रेंस जदि तुम मैंने दवा पे चाहूचो ये चैनल थ्रू रे तुम मैंने प्रिपरेशन मध्य हो परिबो ता सहित ओडिसा रो मेनी मोर कॉम्पिटिटिव एग्जाम लाइक एएसओ ओपीएससी अंडर रे जहाँ भी पोस्ट आसुचे ता सहित ओ डबल एसएससी अंडर रे जहाँ भी पोस्ट आसुची ओ ट्रिपल एसएससी अंडर रे जहाँ भी पोस्ट आसुची ओडिसा गवर्नमेंट रो सेति मध्य प्रिपरेशन हो परिबो अदर टीचिंग एग्जाम लाइक सीयूईटी बीड हो एवं एंट्रांस गुड़िक ओ डबल एस टी ओटीटी ये सब एंट्रांस तुम मैंने चैनल थ्रू प्रिपरेशन कर एवं केवल लाइव क्लासेस नुहे तुम्हें मैंने जॉब रिलेटेड अपडेट पाई परिबो जहाँ भी वैकेंसी आसूचे ता सहित एजुकेशन सेक्टर रे जहाँ भी अपडेट आसीबो ओडिशा गवर्नमेंट तरफ हो किंबा सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट तरफ हो आपण माने इजीली से सब को ये चैनल थ्रू रे सर्वप्रथमे जानि परिबे तो सेति पे चैनल को सब्सक्राइब करिवे निज फ्रेंड्स मन मध्ये रेफर करिवे से माने हम चैनल को जॉइन करंतु चैनल को सब्सक्राइब करंतु जादर कि तुम भली से माने मध्ये बेनिफिट गुडी को पाई परिबे तो डियर स्टूडेंट्स डिस्क्रिप्शन बॉक्स रे अगेन कहि रखुची टेलीग्राम रो लिंक अछि जोटे कि हमर ऑफिशियल टेलीग्राम चैनल अटे ऑफिशियल ग्रुप रे जॉइन हेचिबे पाखापाखि 3100 रु अधिक स्टूडेंट्स से ग्रुप रे अवेलेबल अछंती यदि तुम माने समस्ते जॉइन होचो से ग्रुप रे सेतिर आपन को फ्रीली पीडीएफ मिलिबो नोट्स मिलिबो प्रति संडे तुम मान को मॉक टेस्ट मिलिबो इजीली तुम माने फ्री ऑफ कॉस्ट अटेंड कर परिबो तो डियर स्टूडेंट्स क्वेश्चन नंबर 1 तुम मान को पाखरे रहिची हिटलर इन्वाइटेड द सोवियत यूनियन बिकॉज हिटलर इन्वाइटेड द सोवियत यूनियन बिकॉज तो देखो फिले इट जो तुम मानकर रेड मार्क रही ये आंसर तो आमको डायरेक्टली आंसर मध्य शो करुच्ची ही वांटेड कंट्रोल ओवर द कंट्री ऑयल एंड ए व्हाइट फील्ड तो डियर स्टूडेंट्स क्वेश्चन नंबर 1 हो यार सठिक आंसर क्वेश्चन नंबर 2 फिले वर्ल्ड वार 2 बिगन व्हेन जर्मनी इन्वेंटेड वर्ल्ड वार 2 फिले केते बेले स्टार्ट हेतला जेते जर्मनी कहा पर फिले आक्रमण कला रे रशिया ऑस्ट्रिया ना फ्रांस ना पोलैंड कहा पर फिले जर्मनी पोलैंड ऊपर आक्रमण करथिला ना जनरल चार्ल्स डी गॉल वेंट टू ग्रेट ब्रिटेन एंड टोल्ड ऑफ फ्रेंचमैन टू कंटिन्यू फाइटिंग एग्नेस्ट द जर्मन तो डियर स्टूडेंट्स ऑप्शन बी एस इज यार सटीक आंसर क्लॉज वोन स्टेफनबर्ग ट्राई टू किल हिटलर क्लॉज वोन स्टेफनबर्ग ट्राई टू किल हिटलर एटा तुम मैंने मन रखिबो व्हेन सोवियत सोल्जर मूव्ड बैक फ्रॉम द जर्मन आर्मी दे बर्न एवरीथिंग बिहाइंड देम ऑप्शन ए फिले हिजबो सटीक आंसर ए कॉन्फ्रेंस एट द एंड द वार वाज हेल्ड इन पोट्सडम ऑप्शन सी फास्किस्ट वांटेड ए फ्री स्टेट मोर गवर्नमेंट कंट्रोल ऑप्शन डी फिले रहिथिबो एठी ऑप्शन fascists wanted an emperor the people to rule the country a free state more government control तो more government control फिले आसी जीवो सटीक आंसर क्वेश्चन नंबर 8 in the 1930 there was a civil war in Spain फिले ऑप्शन ए आसी जीवो सटीक आंसर Munich Agreement gave Germany the right to take over the Sudetenland, govern Austria, build a strong army. तो dear students, यार सठिक आंसर आपण माने देखि पारथिबे टेक ओवर द Sudetenland. During the war, British ships traveled in convoys because they were afraid of a German submarine attacks. Albert Einstein found out that a lot of energy could be made by splitting an atom. Option D. When the Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor, the Americans were completely surprised. Operation Overlord was commanded by Eisenhower. Adolf Hitler committed suicide because he realized that the Germans had lost the war. Adolf Hitler committed suicide because he realized that the Germans had lost the war. Towards the end of the war, the Russians got supplies from America and Britain. When Hitler was a child, he dreamed of becoming a painter. During the Holocaust, the Nazis killed millions of Jews. Anne Frank wrote a famous diary while she was hiding from the Nazis. Anne Frank, जी wrote a famous diary while she was hiding from the Nazis. Benito Mussolini escaped from prison with the help of a German commandos. Option C is the सठिक आंसर. After Germany's surrender, Winston Churchill lost his job as a prime minister. After Germany's surrender, Winston Churchill lost his job as a prime minister. Germany's secret policy was commanded by Heinrich Himmler. Option B. The German invasion of the Soviet Union was stopped by the harsh Russian winter. Hitler gave up his plan of invading Great Britain because he could not defeat the British Air Force. After the end of the war, Germany was divided into 4 zones. After the end of the war, Germany was divided into 4 zones. When the Russian blockaded Berlin, the Allies flew in food and other supplies. Germany, Italy, and Japan were called the Axis power. Germany, Italy, and Japan were called Axis power. The Manhattan Project developed the atomic bomb. The Manhattan Project developed the atomic bomb. The Germans thought that the Allies would invade Europe near Calais. तो एथरे पिला में 28 क्वेश्चन को कवर अप कले वर्ल्ड वार 2 रो ता परवर्ती में क्वेश्चन को कवर देखंदु एथरे पिला 28 क्वेश्चन को कवर अप कले तापर एथरे किछि क्वेश्चन अछि एथरे पिला तो कवर अप करियो. All of the following were leaders of a totalitarian government in 1930 and 1940 except Neville Chamberlain. In what country was the fascist party and government from Italy? The Battle of Britain forced Germany to do what to their war plans in Europe in 1942, put off the invasion of Britain. The Nazis practiced genocide towards Jews, gypsies, and other undesirable peoples in Europe. What does the term genocide mean? Genocide means deliberate extermination of a specific group of people. The term Blitzkrieg was a military strategy that depended on what? Surprise and quick, overwhelming force. In an effort to avoid a second world war, when did the Britain and France adopt a policy of appeasement towards Germany before the war began? The United States entered World War II as a direct result of what? The attack of the attack on Pearl Harbor. Which of the following was a false promise from Hitler not to take any more land in Europe? The Munich Pact. The Munich Pact. Which of the following matches a nation with that it invaded in 1930 before World War II was declared? Italy, Ethiopia. Which nation came to known as the Axis power after they signed a mutual defense treaty in 1940? जोटा कि जर्मान जापान आउ इटली जर्मान जापान आउ इटाली हो यार सठिक आंसर क्वेश्चन नंबर 11 व्हाट वाज द मीनिंग ऑफ द जापानीज टर्म कामिकेज कामिकेज माने डिवाइन वाइन The Axis power alliance worried Franklin D. Roosevelt because he saw that the United States, if drawn into the war, would have to fight on two oceans. In following a policy of appeasement, Britain and France were taking what a controversial action, giving into Hitler's demand. The title of Hitler's book's Mein Kampf in English means what? My struggle. Hitler's main method of achieving Lebensraum or living space for the German people was to do what? Conquer other countries. Which of the following was the leader of Japan's dictatorial government during the 1930 and 1940? Hideki. Question number 17. The Munich conference was held to address the problem of a German threat to which nation? Yugoslavia. Which of the following features did Nazi society straight to its citizens? Nationalism is the perfect answer. Paravarti question. The Weimar Republic was the post-World War I government of a what European country? এটা হচ্ছে জার্মানি आंसर তুমি মানে স্ক্রিনে সমস্তে দেখি পড়থিব দ্বিতীয় ডিউস was the title of which of the following totalitarian leaders of World War II Europe? Benito Mussolini. Which country invited Rhineland in 1936, touching of a series of events that would eventually lead to the start of World War II? Germany. Option C. Which country invited China in 1938 as a part of a mass campaign of a territorial expansion? Here, सठिक आंसर is Japan. The Germans first successfully used the Blitzkrieg tactics in an attack on what Eastern European country, which helped to also set off World War II? Here, सठिक आंसर is Poland. Who was the General Charles de Gaulle? The French General, এটা কোন আসবে? Who was the General Charles de Gaulle? এটা আসিব the leader of the French government in exile and the French during World War II. Which of the following technologies for the British helped to give them an advantage in the fighting of the Battle of Britain? Radar. What a technological development originally discarded by the Western powers but utilized by the Japanese helped make the attack on Pearl Harbor possible? এটা হচ্ছে aircraft carriers. Who takes credit for and created the plan for attack on the US naval base at Pearl Harbor? Isoroku Yamamoto. Built following the destructive conclusion to the war and supported by a massive propaganda campaign. What was the intended purpose of the Maginot Line? To protect France from German invasion. Which of the following statement most accurately reflect Roosevelt's feelings towards the event in Europe prior to 1941? Wanted to help the Allies but had to appease US citizens who opposed the war. What was the Lend-Lease Act? A policy allowing the president to provide arms to certain foreign countries. What was the name given by Hitler to his supposed master race? Aryans. Which of the following method did the German Schutzstaffel employ to deal with those considered undesirables in Nazi Germany or Nazi control areas? Death camps पिले अच्छी डिपोटेशन अच्छी कंसंट्रेशन कैंप अच्छी एगुड़ाक सब पिले होगी ऑल ऑफ द एबव हो जाइए आंसर यहाँ मन रखिब व्हाट ए फ्रेज वाज यूज्ड बाय द सुप्रीम कोर्ट टू जस्टिफाई internment of a Japanese American following the attack of Pearl Harbor for harbor military necessity. The strategy of island hopping in the Pacific, which was developed by a joint US Army Navy command, involved allied attack on what? Only islands that were not well defended and offered strategic advantage. What a legal mean did the US government President Roosevelt use to issue the internment of a Japanese Americans during World War II? Issued an executive order. Who was the supreme commander of the Allied forces in Europe during World War II? Much to announce of our British allies. Dwight D. Eisenhower. Knowing that the Nazis were expecting an invasion of Europe at some point, what region of France was chosen for the D-Day invasion? तो डियर स्टूडेंट्स यार सठिक आंसर तुम मैंने देखी पार्थव ऑप्शन बी हो यार सठिक आंसर फॉलोइंग द बैटल ऑफ Bataan and the Japanese invasion of the Philippines, who went to the Bataan death march and why? तो डियर स्टूडेंट्स यार सठिक आंसर जो ऑप्शन बी स्क्रीन देखी पार्थवे एलिड प्रिजनर ऑफ वार बिकॉज द जापानीज फोर्स देम टू. व्हाट इज द एलिज कंट्री नेम for the invasion of a Nazi occupied France? Operation Overlord. Operation Overlord is your सठिक आंसर. What town was American troops like the 101 Airborne Brigade defending during the Battle of the Blues, at one point completely cut off from the rest of the Allied army? এটা হচ্ছে Vestogen. Known as the Spartan General, this general commanded the British forces in North Africa during World War II. Montgomery. What is the name for the allied invasion of North America, where American troops got their first takes of action against German Axis forces? Operation of Torch. What are the German troops in North Africa who became legendary for their ability to fight in hostile desert setting? Africa Corps. Probably one of the most respected German generals of the European conflict. What was Erwin Rommel's nickname? এটা হচ্ছে সঠিক आंसर আসছে পিলে ডেজর্ট ফক্স। Who created the theory that lead to the atomic bomb? এটা হচ্ছে পিলে আলবর্ট আইনস্টাইন। যদি আলবর্ট আইনস্টাইন পিলে এই থিওরিটাକୁ ନ ବାହାର କରିଥାନ୍ତେ ତାହେଲେ ଆମର ଜାପାନ ଏମିତିକା ଧ୍ୱଂସ ବିଧ୍ୱଂସ ହେଇ ନଥାନ୍ତା। ତ ଏଥିରେ ପିଲେ 45ଟା କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚିନ୍କୁ କଭର ଅପ୍ କଲେ। ଠିକ୍ ଅଛି, ଏଥିରେ ପିଲେ 45ଟା କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚିନ୍କୁ କଭର ଅପ୍ କଲେ। ସେଥିରେ ପିଲେ 28ଟି କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚିନ୍କୁ କଭର ଅପ୍ କରିଥିଲେ। 73 କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚିନ୍ ପିଲେ ଆମର କଭର ଅପ୍ ହେଇଗଲା। ଆଉ କିଛି କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚିନ୍ ପିଲେ ଅଛି ତାକୁ ମଧ୍ୟ କଭର ଅପ୍ କରିବା। देखो पहले क्वेश्चन नंबर पुणी 1 स्टार्ट है। प्रेसिडेंट विलियम्स पीस प्लान नोन एज द 14 पॉइंट। एटा पहले मन रखिबा एग्जाम रे पचारिबो। द एलईडी पावर इन 1914 इंक्लूडेड जर्मनी बुल्गारिया एंड इटली। एटा पहले जर्मनी बुल्गारिया एंड ना जर्मनी तुर्की रशिया। एलईडी पावर जो रहितला 1940 रे जर्मनी बुल्गारिया एंड इटली रहितला ना पहले। ऑप्शन ए। The event that a cost of the first declaration of a war in World War I, the ascension of the heir to the throne of Austria-Hungary. The Great Migration during World War I was the flow of African American moving from the south to north cities. The Big Four who attended the peace conference at the end of World War I were the leader from the United States, Britain, France and Italy. Option C is the सठिक आंसर। Which of the following is true about African American soldier during World War I? They received a standard rank. What perform in the armed service during World War I? Nursing and clerical work जी ओमेन मैन करुले पिले एटा मन रखिबो। One of the condition of the Treaty of Versailles was that Germany must admit its guilt in causing World War I. The Central Powers included Germany, Austria-Hungary and Ottoman Empire. According to the Zimmerman telegram, if Mexico allied with Germany, Germany would help Mexico regain Texas, New Mexico and Arizona. During World War I, the slogan "Food will win the war, don't waste it" encouraged Americans to buy Liberty bonds. Selling the war to the American people was the tax of the Committee on Public Information. Criticism of the war at home was effectively silenced by the Espionage and Sedition Act. In World War I, dash were battles in the air between aircraft with attached machine gun, dogfights. What event caused Great Britain to enter World War I? The invasion of Belgium. According to the attached map, there was no German submarine activity in Mediterranean Sea. Option C is the সঠিক answer. According to the attached map, France is a allied power. According to the attached map, Austria-Hungary controls all of the Western Europe. According to the attached map, food riots took place mainly in Germany. According to the attached map, Spain was a neutral country. According to the attached map, the Eastern Front exit in which country? Russia. Option C. During World War I, African Americans field wartime job were discriminated against, migrated north. So all of the above is সঠিক answer. According to the attached map, the Western Front was located in France. Option C. According to attached map, the English Channel exists between Great Britain and France. According to the Kuwait, why is war being declared? Germany submarine attack have killed innocent people. What was the only group of women in the military sent overseas in World War I? Army nurses. Study the graphic. What was the used to defend soldier against the use of mustard gas and chlorine bombs during World War I? Howitzer guns. What two new form of warfare were introduced during World War I? Aerial combat and gas attack. तो डियर स्टूडेंट्स एथिरे आमे 28 टी क्वेश्चन को कवर अप करले तो पूर्व आमे 73 को क्वेश्चन को कवर अप करथिले तो टोटल जदि आमे कैलकुलेट करिबा 101 क्वेश्चन को कवर अप करले तो ए क्वेश्चन रो जो क्लास फिले रहिला जहाँ भी ड्यूरेशन तुम मानकर अछि तो ये क्लास टी को एगेन फिले तुम मैंने देखिदेव एगेन देखिदेला पर तुम मानकर फिले रिविजन हो जिवो एवं जो क्वेश्चन जो बड़ बड़ क्वेश्चन गुड़ाक फिले अच्छी से बड़ बड़ क्वेश्चन गुड़िक तुम मैंने इजिली आंसर दे पार फिले ठीक अच्छे तो निहाती भाव में निज फ्रेंड्स मानक शेयर कर जहाँथर कि से चैनल थ्रू क्लास करेंगे क्लास को फिले एगेन देखीदेव एगेन देखीदेले तुम मानकर फिले जहाँ भी एवं कभर अप है सेटा मन रही ठीक अच्छे तो डिस्क्रिप्शन बॉक्स रे लिंक अच्छी फिले लिंक रे क्लिक करदेव तो थैंक यू सो मच फिले जय जगन्नाथ।